What is the biggest challenge in our school district today, and how do you feel we should address it?
Today, I believe probably the biggest question is the budget, the number of students who choose not to go to Faribault Public Schools impacting our budget, and how we're going to create a sound budget based on our enrollment and how those go. I also see a problem now and in the future of recruiting and retaining qualified licensed teachers to deliver instruction in Faribault. Teacher shortage, licensure issues, etc. That's also going to be crucial, but the district's done a fine job of going out and getting licensed teachers at this point. But as we get to that question, you know, it's going to be a challenge now and down the road. Like I said, for the programs to work, they need to be funded, and hopefully now we need to find what we're good at, and we need to continue to develop it, and we need to find out what we might need improvement in and work on that and be known for what we're really good at, so people have an identity when they come to Faribault Public Schools. That's what we're about. And with that, I believe we'll draw people in and have a real productive school district.
One of the biggest challenges that I feel is facing the district today that I think we need to talk about and come up with strategies for planning for is the decrease in enrollment in the Faribault Public Schools. As enrollment decreases, our funding from the state also decreases, and this decrease is significant. This means at a time when we believe we should be advocating for stronger programs or additional programs, we actually are working with increased budgetary constraints. I would say we need to do several things to start tackling this challenge. First, of course, we have to understand the population enrollment projections, so we even know sort of what we're talking about and where the population is declining and where it might be growing. Second, I think coming off of the bond from last year, we need to rebuild trust in the voters in terms of understanding what programs are necessary and what response to the enrollment changes are necessary for us to both ensure that we have strong and excellent programs for the students who are currently enrolled in the Faribault Public Schools, but also understand how we're going to address the enrollment decrease over the coming years. Of course, I think we need to ensure that the leaders in our community and in industry are highly invested in the schools, so that as they work to bring new families and new workers into their companies and organizations, they're part of the solution helping to improve our public schools. We need to look for programming shifts and changes that aren't as expensive as some of the options we put in front of the voters last year, and make sure that they result in true changes for our students in terms of the options that they have. And then finally, I think simply the school board needs to work tirelessly to make sure that we're building a district that families and students and all community members can be proud of.
I think the biggest challenge that the school district is facing now, and is one that's going to have to be addressed and worked on considerably, and that is the assimilation of our immigrant student population. And this is a community problem. It isn't just a school district or a school problem. It's a community problem, and it goes beyond the school. It goes to the parents and to the family life that these students are leading. We have them for several hours a day in school, but then they go home and on weekends, and it's kind of back to the same old thing. If we can get the parents more involved in the students' education, I think a lot of these challenges would start to repair themselves, and it would make things a lot easier for the teachers and for everybody else as far as making sure that they get a good education.
Right now, the biggest challenge, besides the math and reading, but is our middle school. It's a I've never lied to the public. I've always told the truth in all my years. Like I said, I've been to my 12th year, is that we need to do something with our middle school. The behavior, test scores, the treatment of kids towards our staff, discipline, lack of discipline, and our leadership at our middle school. Something has to be done. I'm not afraid to do it. I do speak out. I am criticized for that, but I will continue to do that. I will continue to tell the people the truth.
State funding for education is one of the highest priorities that we need to make sure we advocate for in Faribault. When state funding goes away or is reduced, we have even more problems providing the level of quality education that our students deserve. So in that respect, I would help to advocate for state funding that is increased for Faribault. In addition, I think a challenge that exists is that we have trouble engaging approval for local funding. That comes as a result of a lack of confidence in our school system and a negative perception of what our school system is. We need to make sure that our families and our community know the school system cares. It will provide new programming, innovative programming that is creative and visionary. Remaining the same does not make for quality. We need to be visionary and innovative and creative in how we can meet the needs of a changing school student. I believe the greatest challenge for public schools is that we keep our students here. That will require innovation, creativity, and vision. We can't afford, with the students that we lose, to lose over $1 million during every school year. We can't have increased and improved education when students go elsewhere. But it is incumbent on the school district to make choices and provide programming that attracts those students back to Faribault and maintains its current population. Excellence isn't created by doing the same old well. It is created by continual search for programs that offer opportunities for students.
I think a couple big challenges. One is the constant state funding and how we're compared to other districts. I think, with our test scores, our schools, when you go to MDE or when you go to a local real estate website, they don't show great ratings, and I think that's really, really unfortunate. I think we need to do a better job of promoting our schools, and I'll go back to my previous answer where we need to help change the narrative and the perception. We have great people in our district. That's students and staff and administrators. And I put them up against anybody. Do we have challenges? Absolutely we do, and they come from diversity, they come from free and reduced lunch, and just the whole combination. And how do we, instead of just measuring these people, how do we, measuring them by a test score, how do we measure them as just becoming better people? And once again, changing that narrative and helping hopefully get some of the naysayers involved. And continuing to bash just doesn't do us any good, but becoming part of the solution certainly does. So I would encourage anybody that has an issue to reach out, to get involved, to step up, and help become part of the solution and not part of the problem.